Assalamualaikum dear students, hope you all are fine. Welcome to Maths Made Easy. This is Iram Sima. Today our lesson number 2 of Unit 2 Real Numbers. In lesson 2 we will learn about squares, square roots of natural numbers. So let's start our lesson. First here comes squares are the perfect squares. A perfect square is a number that can be expressed as the product of two equal integers. Means when we multiply two equal integers, either they are negative or positive, but having the same signs, when we multiply same equal integers, the product which we get is a perfect square. For example, if we multiply 2 with 2, 2 multiply with 2, the answer we get is 4. Here we are multiplying the two same integers and the answer is 4. So this 4 is a perfect square. 4 is a perfect square. Similarly, if we multiply 3, multiply with 3. Here again we are multiplying with the same integers. The product we get equals to 9. So 9 is a perfect square. But 8 is not a perfect square because we cannot express it as a product of two equal integers. Here 8 is not a perfect square. Because 8 we get 2 multiply with 4. Here 2 and 4 are not equal integers, so 8 is not a perfect square. So here we see that when we multiply two equal integers, the answer we get is a perfect square. Now next topic is pattern for the squares of the natural numbers. First we will define pattern. What is pattern? When some shapes, figures or the numbers are arranged to a particular order and that repeats over and over again is called a pattern. So here we are studying about the pattern of squares of the natural numbers. For example, we are given 2 square which is equals to 4. But here we will write the pattern of it. How 1 plus 2 plus 1. When you add them up, we get 4. As the square of 2 is 4, if we check the pattern of 2 square, that is 1 plus 2 and then 1. This is the pattern of 2 square. The answer we get is 4. Similarly, 3 square. The pattern of 3 square will be 1 plus 2 plus 3. Here the order is in ascending order. 1, 2, 3. After 3, the numbers will become in descending order. That will be 2 and then 1. The answer will be 9. The square of 3 is 9, and if you add these numbers which are in the pattern, the answer will be 9. That is 1 plus 2 equals to 3. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 2 is 8, and then 1, 9. That is equals to 9. Now, here we will check the pattern of 4 square. 1 plus 2 plus 3. Here the numbers are increasing till 4. After 4, the numbers will again decreases by 3 plus 2 plus 1. If we add these numbers, the answer will be 16. Next we have square roots. The square root of a number is a positive integer which if multiplied by itself give the original number. Means that if we are finding out the square root of a number and the answer we get, if we multiply that answer with itself, we get the same number of which we are taking out the square root. For example, here we have to find out the square root of 9, which is equals to 3. Now the answer which we have 3, we will multiply it 2 times, we get the same answer of which we are taking the square root. If I have a number that is 3 and I am going to take the square of 3, that is 9. Means if I take the square of 3 which is 9. Now if I will take the square root of 9. Now I am taking the square root of 9. It gives the answer 3. The square of 3 is 9 and the square root of 9 is 3. Now here are some other examples of square and square roots. For example, the square of 4 is 16. Then square of 8 is 64. Similarly, square of 10 is 100. Now the square root of the squares which we have taken out, 16, 64 and 100. Now if we take the square roots of these numbers, we get again the same number of which we have taken the squares. So if we take the squares of these numbers, we get the answer 16, 64 and 100. And if we take the square root of these answers, we again get the same numbers. Now here we will talk about the symbol of the square root. The symbol of the square root is this sign, which is also called the radical. And its value is 1 divided by 2. Means the radical value is 1 divided by 2. If I take the square root of 9, I can write it like 3 into 3 inside, because if I multiply 3 2 times, I get the answer 9. And I can write 3 into 3 as 3 square. And these two values will be cancelled out. The square will be cancelled out with the radical, because the value of the radical is 1 divided by 2. You can write it like, which will be cancelled out. Here this 2 is in numerator and this is in the denominator. They will be cancelled out. And the value of 3 is, the power of 3 is 1. So this will be equals to 3. Here radical 9 is equals to 3. Our next topic is the square root of the natural numbers. Here the perfect squares and their square roots. We will talk about them. Now here first there comes 1. The perfect square in which there comes also 1, because if we multiply 1 with 1, we get the answer 1. So 1 is a perfect square, and if we take the square root of 1, means radical 1, this answer is 1. Now next, if the perfect square is 4, because this 4 we get through when we multiply 2 times, mean an integer when we multiply by itself, we get the perfect square. So 2 into 2 equals to 4, and if we take the square root of 4, it gives the answer 2. Similarly, 9 is the perfect square which we get through multiplying 3 2 times. So 3 threes are 9, and if we take the square root of 9, it gives us 3. Similarly, 16, which is a perfect square of multiplying 4 into 4, and we take the radical or the square root of 16, we get the answer 4. Similarly, we get the perfect square by multiplying equal integer by itself. And the square root is a number if we find out the square root of the perfect square and we get the same integer of which we have multiplied and get the perfect square. So this is the end of our lesson number 2 of unit 2, which is based on the real number, in which we have covered the topics squares, square roots, square root of the natural number, and hopefully you might have learned a lot from today's lesson. And like our channel, subscribe and share with the others to get the videos on time. Till then, Allah Hafiz.